This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the broadcast.
But okay, no, but I want to get into this Nella Rose conversation.
Yes. Run that there.
Why? Now, I do actually want to play some audio. But for
lay
those...
it out first. Lay it out before you play the audio.
Okay, I'm going to lay it out, then I'll play the audio. So people, Nella Rose is an influencer. She does very, very well. She's successful. I put her in the category with Chunks, Philly, even KSI. Like, she's done very, very well in the content creation space.
What kind of content does she create?
She does a lot of like dating stuff, I put her in the category as part of the problem with the man v woman.
Oh dear. Okay.
Like, she's in the dating space. She talks a lot about relationships and things of that nature. A lot of stuff like that.
How old is she?
I think she's in her mid to late 20s, Nella Rose. So
she got a little bit of experience then. Okay.
She's definitely got a bit of experience, but she's very, very successful to the point that I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Brought her into the fold.
So is that the one where they're in the jungle?
They're in the jungle, yeah. They're in the jungle. Now, I'm not a viewer of this, but based on the discussion that's going on now, I've watched it before historically, but I don't watch it in today's world. But Nella Rose is in there. Now, what she done, Noble, is she's in the jungle and she's been getting herself into a few situations in the jungle, and the British public have been outraged. So there's a guy called Nigel Farage.
Yes.
Noble, you know who that is. Do you want to give us a brief description?
He's a very rich very rich former politician who's I think he's on GB News as well as a presenter, has very, very close links with all of the major politicians and stuff. He was with that Brexit. I think he led Brexit, or one of the main proponents for Brexit and stuff. Has very strong ties with Trump. He's a Wagadan. He says some interesting stuff at times, but yeah, he's just same ilk, man. Very rich, entitled gentleman.
Okay, so this Nigel Farage, this was the first situation. Nigel Farage and Nella Rose were discussing immigration. I'll play the audio in a second. Now, while they're discussing this Nigel Farage, I personally, I'm not his biggest fan. And I watch GB News from time to time, but I'm not his biggest fan. But it almost had me, I'm going to keep it real. I can't lie in this segment. It almost had me kind of rooting for him, Like they were trying to discuss the situation of immigration.
What's her lineage? Is she African, Caribbean?
I believe, people don't shoot me down because I'm not 100% certain, but I believe she's of an African background.
I mean,
yeah, let's get the facts.
Yeah.
So while this conversation's going on, Noble, she's constantly cutting him off, shouting over him. He can't even get his point across. When you're listening to a conversation and you want to hear the other side of the conversation, she wouldn't let him get a word in edgeways. Like, she's just shouting over him. We'll play the audio in a second. The second... Go on, Noble. African.
Congolese.
Belgium, okay.
By the way of Belgium.
Okay. Now, the second incident was where a man said to her, another member of I'm a Celebrity said to Nella, "Oh, I'm 56, I'm old enough to be your dad." And Noble, she lost it. What do you mean? I'm old enough? You old enough to be my dad? Don't talk about my dad. My dad died. She just literally went off. You know what I mean? Completely. The man didn't even mean that. We know, I've said this even before to people myself, like, yo, like to younger people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm old. You're basically saying you're old. Basically saying I'm old enough to be your parent.
How did she... I don't understand. How can you misscrew that? That when someone makes that statement, they're saying that, like, I'm like twice your age, basically, like, meaning your parents' age. Like, where do we get from
All right, let's just play the audio. People, listen to this.
Sign up today.
Hold on. I know there's always adverts on YouTube. All right, let's go.
Morning, darling.
Morning, babes.
Morning, Nick. Hey, Nella.
Last night after dinner, Fred has made a comment about him basically how he could be my dad. And I took offense to that because one of the first conversations we had together was me opening up about the fact that my dad's passed away.
I have worries also to cut my fingers with this bloody knife. Gotta be very careful.
I don't know how you lot doing this without glasses.
Well, I can't see anything.
Do you wear contact lenses?
No.
Oh, shit. But didn't you have that surgery thing?
Yeah, I did, but it's not like
The best.
I had it because I'm old.
Oh, shit.
And my eyesight wasn't so good and I had to have glasses. I'm 51.
Yeah, but that's not old, though.
Yeah, but I'm not 26 anymore, am I? I could be your dad.
Pardon?
I could be your dad.
No, my dad was way older than you.
Yeah, but I could still be your dad.
Nah, I don't think so. I didn't say anything about it last night because I was kind of just annoyed about it. So I slept on it and I kind of thought about it and I was just like, this is not the kind of person I want to be around.
Nels, I reckon you should eat this. I haven't seen you eat anything.
I'm good, babe. Yeah, thank you there.
No, seriously, Nella, you should eat, don't you think? Nella? Nella? Nella?
She's ignoring him.
Why does he keep calling me?
Nella? Nella? Darling?
Can you
Nella?
leave me alone?
You don't want to eat?
Leave me alone.
Okay.
Who's the dude?
This morning I offered some rice to Nella and she didn't want it.
I don't know who the guy is. Not sure who he is. He's obviously some white guy of note who's in this. I'm a celebrity because it's celebrities. Not usually A-list celebrities, but it's celebrities. But
Yeah.
so far you can see. I'm gonna play all of it because I want to show the context. But so far you see, he said, "I'm old enough to be your dad." She slept on it and she just ignoring him the next day.
But somehow I felt like something was wrong and all of a suddenly it all kicked off.
Mate, you've missed out on that rice. That was absolutely banging.
Oh yeah, yummy. Risotto, ooh.
Nella, you don't want your rice?
No.
You really?
I don't want to talk to you.
What have I done to you?
You made a comment yesterday.
What did I
and
say?
you know what comment you said.
No, what did I say?
So you know that my mum's dead? And you know that my dad's dead. You know that, right?
Yes.
I've come to find out that every time I want to get creative around the fire or I want to have something my way, my own food that I'm entitled to, my way, you tend to get an attitude, right?
Okay.
So yesterday, when I wanted to burn fat that you was going to throw away anyways, it's not even something that we needed to survive in camp. You turned around to me with an attitude and said, you know I could be your dad, right? You know I could be your dad,
All
right?
right, let me pause it to Kiki there because we all heard when he said it. Did you take it that he said it with an attitude?
No.
Now, people, if you want to comment, you can comment. If you think I'm wrong, did that guy say it? And I don't know who this guy is, but I'm being non-biased. Did he say it with an attitude? Did anybody take that from this guy? What he said, did you take it that he said it with an attitude?
He was emphasizing the fact that I'm not 26 anymore. I'm like double your age. I could be your father. No, my father was older than you, but yeah, I could still be your father. That's what he basically said, based
There
on
you
his
go.
age.
There you go.
To me, I don't care how you said it. To me, that's disrespectful, and I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be around you. I only allow people to disrespect me once. You hurt my feelings. I was very upset till this very morning, and you keep trying to speak to me when I don't want to speak to you. I would rather stay away from you. I don't want to eat your food. I don't want to talk to you. We can just live. You live on that side, I live on this side, and it's cool. Don't bring up my dead parent. Are you stupid about, you know I could be your dad? Like, you know my dad's dead. You're a weirdo.
I am
You're
so
a weirdo.
sorry. You took it.
Okay,
I'm
cool,
so sorry.
thank you.
Can I
Alright,
just
let
say?
me pause it. The fact my man's even apologizing, Noble, is crazy. It should have been me in the jungle, It should have been me in the jungle because I would have said, yo, are you stupid? I'd have said, yo, are you dumb? I said, I'm old enough to be your dad. Like, no disrespect, like, our parents have passed, but that's your, you need to deal with your grief because I wasn't attacking your parents. But this, I'm going to continue to play it, but I'm just going to say this. A lot of black men are dealing with this kind of attitude. A lot of black men are dealing with this same attitude.
Are you? She said to the big old to the owl
Wow.
guy, in essence. Are you dumb?
Are you dumb? Listen how she's talking to the man. Okay, we're getting the chats. We're getting some. Harry, big up. Weston, big up. Harry said he's from First Dates. He's the host. He's a French guy, very popular. Weston said this argument is very cringeworthy, to say the least. Okay, let's continue.
First of all, I am sorry I've offended you.
Okay.
I am unaware that you felt offended. I am unaware that what I said, would lead to this conversation. I only said that in a way because I am older than you. I'm 51 and you're 26.
I'm not stupid.
Nella, it wasn't
You're not
like
gonna
that.
little girl me. You're not.
Nella, it wasn't like that at
Listen,
all.
Okay, it
people,
wasn't like
hold
that.
on, let me
I promise-
pause this. People, listen to this delusion. Listen to this level of delusion. And what I'm telling, I want to say it again. You know how much man are in their yard dealing with that same attitude? Come on, we're not going to...
It wasn't like
Okay.
that. On my children's life, it wasn't like that.
Thank you.
If, however, I made a mistake and I said something that offended you, I'm really
Okay,
sorry.
cool.
I'm really sorry you feel
Thank
like
you.
this.
I accept your apology.
I really feel sorry,
But in order for
but-
us to live in this camp together, I don't want to eat no food that you're cooking. Don't talk to me. You stay over there. I stay over here. And we can live. I'm good. Yeah? You stay over there. Because the thing is, look at your face. You're smiling. You don't even give a... He gave me just such a shitty apology that he didn't mean. He was smiling half the time.
man.
So I just feel like if I don't like somebody...
This is very triggering,
I'm not going
you
to
know.
force myself to speak to them. This is not the kind of person I want to be around. These are not the kind of comments I want to be subject to.
Okay, listen, I did not pick up on the vibe, right?
But you never do.
And you
never do.
What I mean is you could have said straight away, excuse me, Fred, this is
I went to bed.
upsetting
I
me.
didn't eat your food. Can you not clock on the vibe?
No.
No, because you've been sleeping quite a lot, so I thought you were tired. If I made a faux pas, unwillingly, unconsciously, I am very sorry. But this was all it was. That's all it was. Now, if you want to take it to the nth degree and not speak to me anymore, it's your choice, it's
You
your
only get one
prerogative.
chance to disrespect me.
Okay.
I accept your apology, but let's not be friends. How
All right.
about that?
And do you don't want your rice?
I think I'm very good. I'm good.
Okay, I'll have it then.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. See you later.
Wow.
Jesus,
Nah,
that's
no,
rude.
no, but
That's
no,
rude.
but listen. Okay, this is where we're gonna start with this thing. Let me just straighten up my chair real quick. Let me straighten up my chair real quick. This is the problem. This is the problem. This attitude is the problem that men are speaking about. That man did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
He said nothing wrong. All of us have used that statement basically to show how old we are. People say it all the time. Oh, I'm old enough to be your mom. Oh, I'm old enough to be your whatever. You know what I mean? Your dad, I'm old enough to be your grandparent. How does she take offense to that? And even the fact that she took offense to it, that's one thing. But her behavior after the
Yes.
fact was totally unacceptable. How she spoke to that man on public television. How she spoke to that man was wrong. The fact he even apologized. The man apologized, for something he did not do. He never done nothing wrong.
No, I'm gonna slightly disagree. You obviously, where everyone's different. Now, I feel his apology and his response, although he could have come back very different because there's two ways to respond. I think that was him showing a level of maturity that you've got to lead by example. Sometimes you've got to meet fire with fire, but in this case, I don't think he necessarily needed to meet fire with fire. He needs to show, look, this is how you resolve situations. You don't say, oh, am I dumb? No, you're dumb. How old are you, little girl? You're 26, man. You asking me if I'm dumb?
Yeah.
That could then inflame the situation even further. But personally, you could feel like, well, no, I don't want to be disrespected by this little young gal talking to me any old how. But as an adult, as a 51-year-old big man,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm gonna show her, yo, if I've offended you, that was not my intention. I apologize. Let's put a line in the sand and let's move forward with this thing we're big people, right? Well, I'm clearly a bigger person than you. You've taken it another way, but like, let's move forward, man. We're getting paid for this shit.
She still don't want it.
What is it? 100? What do they get paid for this? Like 75,000 or something like that.
They're getting a lot of money, but the fact the man apologized, and the fact she still dealt with him that way, and he didn't even mean it that way. I don't even know that guy. I've had to ask on the stream who that guy is. I don't even know who that is, but he did not mean it in that way. And the fact she's behaving that way, but this is what I'm showing you, that is not a good look. Now, I'm not saying all black women are the same, because they're not, but she is a representation on TV. And looking at that, imagine that wasn't on TV and you was in the house with that kind of woman. I see Xavier, big up yourself. Xavier said, whole heap of masculine energy. And you have to agree. I wouldn't want to deal with that, because even if this guy has made a comment that she has deemed offensive, you can't tell her what to deem offensive. I agree. But he's tried to get an understanding. You didn't even let him know that originally that it was offensive. You've gone about your day and just started to ignore him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to speak down on him like that, to speak down to him. And this is why I'm saying now imagine that in a household. Now imagine that's something very small. He's just said, I'm old enough to be your dad. Now imagine he said something that was offensive. She knows that she's on TV and still thought that was acceptable. So what do you think she would do if the cameras was off?
If there's no cameras, sibling.
What would she do if the cameras was off? This is what I say every time, people. These women come forward talking about, oh, this happened and that. How would she have behaved if there was no cameras there and she weren't on TV? I'm telling you the truth. She could have all got physical with the man.
She would have got physical. That's because it seems that's the way. Now I know this is a minority.
Yeah, so we do apologize. We're not putting all black women into this. We're just talking about
definitely not. But with the virus of this wickedness, this masculine, crazy behavior that these women are adopting, like it's what happened to me, a woman. Exemplification of a woman. A feminine energy. What is feminine energy? It's caring. It's subtle. You know what I mean? It's not overbearing. It's not waving hands in faces. It's not screaming on the top of your lungs. It's none of this stuff. It's trying to resolve things. It's trying to nurture things. It's trying to care for things. That's what a feminine nature is. And that it's like, I hate to use the word, the phrase, but monkey see, monkey do. She's 26 years of age. She's got no emotional maturity, none based upon this example here. None. Listen, Mark, at 16 years of age, let's go even earlier than that. 14 years of age, you were not going to get yourself caught up in something like that. Wait a minute. Number one. This isn't someone who is older than you. So they get an extra level of respect because why? They have been on this plane of existence for a long time. They have been through some things. They have had experiences which I haven't had. Now, unless they're cussing and hollering and da-da-da, then that's a different thing. The dude didn't say nothing.
He said nothing. He said nothing. He said nothing wrong. But that's the kind of behavior that as a man especially as a black man, you're expected to put up with. So we make jokes about Love is Blind crew. A lot of men get attacked for dating outside their race. But if that is what a man has to choose from, then you can't really blame him, Noble. And I don't mean to sound controversial, but I don't want to deal with that kind of attitude. Imagine day to day. Imagine going through life day to day, living with a person like that who's making a major thing over anything. That was something so minute. Imagine if it was really an issue. Imagine if there was a real issue. She just oozes aggression. No, I don't want to eat your food. No, like cutting people off. And the man tried to get an understanding. He approached her and said, I didn't mean it that way. even though if I was him, you are very right, Noble. He done the adult thing, so you got to applaud him for that. But I wouldn't have apologized because I would have been like, I didn't do nothing wrong. But how come she don't even try to give him some sort of understanding? Now I understand she's lost her parents, and it's not. Anytime you lose a parent, you know like thank God I've still got both my parents, but I understand what it is to lose a parent. I know how it is without getting personal. You know, but it is a difficult thing for someone to overcome. But
Yeah.
what it is you can't go on TV and basically make an idiot of yourself like that when the man didn't mean it and speak down to him. Now, like I said, this is with the cameras on. This is with the cameras on. You turn them cameras off and make it a private setting. She'd have probably all went for him physically. And if that man would have done anything,
Of course.
he would have been cancelled. Now, I'm saying that's just one instance. We have another video to play.
Before you play that, Mark, play that, let me play Righteous Advocate. This has only just hit me, and I don't know why I didn't start with this. Think about, now this is no excuse, but this is a possible explanation and possible other detail to why the response was as it was. As you said, losing a parent, losing anyone close to you is traumatic. A parent especially, man, depending on how close the bonds were, etc., etc. She's only young, man. She's 26. She's born in 97, Mark.
Crazy.
19. I remember we was having this conversation before. Like, I can't. 97, right? So she is young. And look at this. Look at the world that she was born into. Look at the things as we spoke about for the previous hour. This is all brought her to the stage where she is now. Now let's take away the fact that she's not in a normal setting. She's got hidden cameras everywhere. She's got producers in another camp somewhere else. She's getting paid. This is work that she's doing. She's not in a normal setting. She's got undiagnosed trauma that she clearly has not dealt with. She's emotionally immature. She's only 26 years of age. She's still young.
Yep.
She's got this masculine energy going in. She's got this stance that to be a woman in the growing year of 2023, that this is the stance I need to take when challenged. Not at the time, not actually at the night. Like, you know what? And usually now, everyone's been in these situations where you can immediately challenge someone, or you can think, wait a minute, 5 minutes later, and I've been thinking about that. I don't like how he spoke to me, you know. Yo, Fred, you know, about 5 minutes ago when you said so and so, I'm not happy about it. And you have the conversation, you check them there and then. This is my thoughts on it. And then it can either go to and fro, you can fully battle, or it can be resolved, but you sleeping on it. Then waking up and being immature and not speaking to someone, ignoring someone.
Sorry to interrupt you there. You just hit the nail on the head. You've actually slept and had time to think about the comment. You've slept on it and had time to get an understanding that is not an offensive comment, and you've still took it offensive. And I just want to read these two comments quickly because these are very, very on point. Ari Gold and Xavier, both of you, big up yourself. The main problem is that she is reinforcing the negative stereotype of black women, and the British public are having a field day with this. Ari said, unfortunately, she lived up to the stereotype that hampers most black women who aren't like that. And this is what I'm saying. Yeah. This is why we have to be careful who we make famous.
Yes.
Because you got to imagine now a man watching that who don't really know. You know what I mean? Look at that. A man watching that can say, oh, it is true.
Yeah.
And when you go in the comments on the actual video on the official I'm a Celebrity YouTube page, most of the people taken up for are black women. So what does that reinforce? That they don't hold each other accountable. She is wrong. If I was to phone my mom now, she'd say she's wrong. But if I was to phone probably one of my sisters, they'd find an excuse why she's right.
You reckon?
Not my oldest one. Probably the younger two. Probably not the older two. Probably not the one who's my age and the one older. the one who's quietly younger. The younger two would find an excuse for her. They would find an excuse to make him wrong.
All right then. Okay. So you because I don't know this behavior outside of us discussing it and seeing videos. I don't know anybody in my circle, nieces, nephews, associate. I don't know nobody unless their persona around me is clearly very different. But maybe when they're not with me, it's another thing. I don't know this behavior. This is alien. This is not of this world, or definitely not of Noble's world. Like, do you like experience any of this type of behavior from
me personally? Yeah, I have. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. I've dealt with that attitude. I'm not necessarily saying it's my loved ones, but I've came across that attitude in my day to day. Yeah, remember the other day, without going into names, when I told you that somebody wanted to use the studio.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
And they took offense to me saying that I had to travel. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I'm trying to say. Some people are going out of their home every day looking for a reason to be offended, but she has reinforced a stereotypical view. And what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying, let me clear this up, I'm not saying my sisters would behave that way. I'm saying because she's a black woman, they would support her and find a reason to rationalize that behavior.
Yes.
When in fact, you should be able to look at that and say, there's no buts, there's no ifs. She was wrong, and she was wrong, and she owes that man an apology.
Simple.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Within our culture, it's people like that who lead the charge. Now imagine shit. Well? Now, quickly, Noble, sorry. Imagine that Nella Rose gives that relationship advice. Imagine that. That Nella Rose gives out relationship advice to black girls all over the UK. So you imagine that is your counsel?
Nah.
That is your counsel? Now, I do understand she's young. One day she'll look back, maybe in 10 years.
10 years.
She'll look back and she'll say, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. That was wrong. You see what I'm saying? But that is the type of counsel that these girls, these are the girls on the podcast talking about they hate men. Now, you imagine her boyfriend. This is why I say, men, don't ignore red flags. Be careful the kind of woman you pick up, because that woman has had so much unhealed trauma that she's just carrying it into the world. Imagine just attacking men like that. That guy, the poor guy, man. And the fact of the matter is, it's like loose women and all those kind of people, they're even looking and saying, no, she's wrong. Because usually they're scared because they don't want, all the protect black women, all them hashtags. Usually they're scared, but even they're saying, no, she was wrong. She was wrong. The guy didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Even with that Nigel Farage, which I will play in a second, you never even allowed the man to lay out his argument. And what I'm saying is, it's not, there's loads of men going through this in their home. And again, I'm going to say it again, take away the cameras and take away the presence of others. I personally believe she would have gotten physical. And if the man would have even tried to restrain her or anything, when the story come out in the public, they would say he's abusive and he needs to be cancelled immediately. Now more than ever, a man needs to make the right decisions. Go True Noble.
Now play it, man. Play this Farage thing. I want to hear this Farage thing, sibling.
Okay, folks.
Yeah.
There's some ads playing. We're going to get into it now, though.
Let's make Cherry famous.
Well, here's an interesting little clip, guys, of Nella Rose and Nigel Farage having a debate over immigration, more like clashing over immigration.
Yeah.
Well, not that everyone hates. That was so bad. But like, so
you can disagree with somebody, but to chuck around accusations the way that they've been chucked around is grossly unfair. Anti-immigrant, right? No. All I've said is we cannot go on with the numbers coming to Britain that are coming. Do you know why?
One of the numbers.
Right. So that's it then. So should it be 5 million a year, 10 million?
Question.
No, you don't understand.
Those immigrants that are coming in.
And hang on.
Had you have been in power a bit
What is so
later,
wrong about immigrants?
I did not expect to be caught in a full-on debate. I really didn't. Just wanted a bubble bath.
Listen, since 2000, the British population has increased by 10 million. 10 million.
Yeah, we're growing.
Right?
Good thing, unless you want a GP appointment.
Right.
Good thing, unless you want your
So
kid.
I'm stopping you from getting a GP appointment.
Let me pause it quickly. You notice every time he tries to speak, Noble, she jumps and cuts him off.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back in.
Babes, you're not getting an appointment because the NHS is lacking funding. I bet you anything here. If every single immigrant or somebody from immigrant descent was to leave the UK, all your doctors, God,
I know.
most of your doctors are Asian, right?
Which is
most of your
wrong.
nurses are African women, right?
Don't you understand what I'm saying?
You want us gone. That's all I understood.
Stop it.
But that's what you're trying to say because we're overcomplicated.
No, you're not listening to a single word I'm saying.
I am listening to you.
No, you're not. You're not. You're dealing with this.
Go through.
She's immature.
I mean, we can see that she's most definitely. Imagine this, Noble. The man. Remember, most people dislike. Let me not say that. Nigel Farage is not everyone's cup of tea. Okay?
It's controversial.
But can you understand why? Surely you can understand why some people are going far right in it.
150
Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it 1,000. You can understand why some indigenous are going far right.
Look, Mark, not even just indigenous folk, second, third generation Caribbeans, West Indians, East Indians, they are leaning that side as well because listen to that statistic, 10 million. 10 million.
But remember, when that dialogue's going on, Noble, I want to hear his points, but she's just so offended and triggered that she's shouting over him and not letting him finish his point. Let's finish it.
I'm disagreeing with you. Right. It's okay for us to disagree on this.
We can agree to disagree if you listen.
I am listening to you. I'm just not trying to understand where you're coming from because it's a scary place to me.
It's scary to me
okay,
too.
Fine. So you don't think we have a population problem?
No.
Fine.
That's it.
Fine.
And we can be cool.
We disagree on
We're
that.
cool.
So we had a very prolonged debate about UK immigration. And what was interesting was at the end of it, she said, well, okay, we're going to agree to disagree. And that's the important thing, agreeing to disagree.
But we don't have to come to a common ground. You probably like a lot of things that I don't like, and I probably like a lot of things that you don't like, but we don't have to...
Do you know what's pretty great? That we can actually have these conversations and actually also like each other as people. That's what's good.
Now, I can see this debate from both sides, but...
Okay. So, sorry, I couldn't find the official clip.
Oh, God.
So, what I'm saying is, imagine, and Xavier says this year, Nella is bringing that backtrack energy with her. That energy doesn't work in most spaces. But do you see, we're supposed to deal with that. We're supposed to, what she's doing only works in the black world. But us as black men have to deal with that energy. We have to put up with that. That man ain't even able to speak. He couldn't get a word in edgeways. He couldn't even lay out his point. And what I'm saying is, again, take away the cameras, take away the presence of other individuals. How does that end up? It's just nothing but you're going to end up just two people shouting. And instead of both laying out your points, it's just going to end up being a toxic argument. And then what she would do is call him a narcissist. You get what I'm saying? What she would then do is say, my man's a narcissist. Now, people, add children into the mix, add rent and all of that into the mix, add all of that into the mix of an individual like that. That displays a major problem, and that is who is giving out advice to young girls. Now, I'm not attacking Nella Rose, but I'm saying that's who a young girl will look at and follow her advice. She's giving out advice. she's got a major platform. And look how she behaves. She can't even hold a basic conversation.
The art of dialogue has been totally lost on this young lady.
Yep.
Totally lost. She was clearly not even. She was talking, or I wouldn't even say debating, because that was an argument. She was arguing without the basic facts. She was coming from a place of emotion. Look, I'm an immigrant. I'm one of these immigrants that you're talking about. What do you mean? You just want us all out of here? Look what, and she raised a good point reference. If all of us was to go, everyone who is not quote unquote indigenous was to go, what would happen to the UK? That's a very good point. A very good point. But the difference is that there's been waves of migration and immigration. What we're talking about now, the problem that we have now, is all of these people strapping themselves to lorries and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, not people coming through legitimately with a passport, working and putting money back into the system. No country has a problem with people contributing to the system. Nobody. That's how GDP is made, not just by indigenous people. Let's get that straight.
But remember though, even that conversation's redundant because we didn't hear his side of the argument. We don't know what he was saying. He didn't get to make his points. So we don't know, because when he was trying to talk, she kept cutting him off. So we can't even go into the debate of what they were discussing because his points were not laid out.
In this setting, but if you know his talking points, he don't want.
I hear you, Noble, because I know you're very in tune. But based on this convo, we have to isolate it to what's happened on TV.
Of course,
because people, there's a lot of people in our community. They're not into politics at all. Let's keep it real, so they don't know.
Yes,
so they don't know. So I'm saying, as someone who does not know, let's just keep it to that. My man weren't able to lay out his points.
So she's just reinforced the stereotype on both
exactly.
ends.
Now let's read a few comments on this YouTube channel. Now this is just a random guy. I'm gonna shout him out. Yaz Feto. Now listen to the I'm gonna read the first 5 comments. Nigel was super respectful. He actually was trying to treat her as someone with equal intelligence. You cannot debate with stupid.
Ooh.
Spot on. Shouting doesn't make you right. It just demonstrates that what you actually have to say holds very little value. She has way too much to say for herself, thinks her opinion is the only one that matters, and thinks she's 100% right 100% of the time. Nigel was saying the inflow of immigrants is unsustainable. Nella responds by saying Nigel doesn't want her in the country. She's not listening and doesn't care to listen. The point is letting in educated Indian doctors and African nurses isn't the problem. The problem is letting in dangerous or uneducated people that are no use to society. Now, whether you want to ignore the debate or not, because this is what you were saying, Noble, whether you want to ignore the debate or not, a lot of people feel like that in the UK right now.
Yes.
A lot of people feel like that. So what he weren't even able to get his point across.
Which is sad.
Exactly. But I'm showing you that this is who leads the charge in talking about creating families and stuff. Don't date this guy unless he does this. Don't do this unless he does that. This is these women's council.
You know how cynical I am? I'm that cynical. Especially the more and more time goes, Mark, I get more and more cynical. I think that there's 2 options. There's 2 options with this thing. That the social engineering and programmers work to the point that we're self-perpetuating our own demise. Now that's true in many different guises. But then you have to look at how is she able to have this huge platform, have 1 million+ followers and all this kind of shit. I've never even heard of the girl. Mark, I've never laid eyes on this young lady in my entire life.
She's hot. She's hot, man. JD Sports, everybody. She's got big brand deals. You wouldn't really, because the kind of content that you look at, you wouldn't see her noble, but she is definitely one of the leading urban content creators.
The point is, why isn't the Express Truth the leading content creator?
Because I don't want to.
No. That's rhetorical. That's rhetorical, Mark.
Okay.
You don't need to answer that. You don't need to answer that.
Okay.
So that's just to show. That's just to show and to highlight the point that this doesn't happen overnight. She didn't come up and do this and blah blah blah. Does she know some people? Of course, she may know some people. Do some people in the right positions putting her in this position? Why would they do that? Because they want this shit to come out. They want this woman, this young woman, to be the poster girl.
Yep.
They want all the young children to say, this is what black woman in Britain is, and this is how we conduct ourselves. This is how we dress. This is so what I'm saying is she's either complicit in respect to being sucked into this virus and the social engineering, etc., or she is a complicit paid agent with the role and responsibility of leading our young children to the path of destruction, Mark.
Yeah, I agree. I think someone somewhere has looked at her content and said, put her in the jungle for that purpose. Because she's displayed nothing but degeneracy. And if you're an outsider looking in and you don't have much interactions with black folk, you are going to look at those two interactions and say, yo, it must be horrible. So you know these girls, it must be horrible dealing with that. But like a lot of men are dealing with that though. With that kind of argumentative, aggressive mindset. And don't get it twisted. Of course, nowhere near all black women are like that. But there is a large majority that do behave that way. And what I'm saying is, she gives advice to girls about their relationships. She gives advice to girls about their standards and things of that nature. That she's a dangerous individual. This is, you know, when Michael B. Jordan said, "Is that your king? Is this your king?" That's what I'm saying. Is that your queen? This is who you're expected to call the queen. Protect black women.